1 second. Bear with me. Hey, Chantal, are you here? Are you streaming? Okay, thanks. For some reason, it wasn't showing up on my. Got it. Okay. Okay, folks. Good morning. Welcome to the Natural Gas Storage Report. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10-Minute Trades. Remember, please, all trades are for educational purposes. Everything we discuss, and it is possible to lose money trading futures. So trade carefully, please. All right, we're looking at natural gas. It's about 5 days from rollover. So there is quite a bit of volume on the 4 April contract. Now, natural gas for us, let's look at the DMM, the daily report. Steve, it was my fault. Somehow I totally screwed up the password. It wasn't your fault. I apologize. If you ever have a problem logging in, always look. Did you check the website for the password? Always check the website for the password if you ever have a problem logging in. I mean, that's why we put it there. Just in case there's an error or if something happens. TJ, let me look at the DMM. TJ, let me take a look. All right, natural gas. So natural gas has been trading better. Interesting. So 2 winners and a stop, 2 winners and a stop. I see what TJ's saying. It's a excuse me, it's a weird little pattern that's going on. Natural gas started trading better about 8 weeks ago. If we go back to a previous HIRA, let me pull up. I might have to pull up a couple of previous HIRAs. Let's see. Let me pull up end of January, because I think end of January natural gas has started to really look better. Okay, it was 50-50 at the end of January. Let me go back one more. 50-50 prior to that. So December, now this was Christmas trading. So the Christmas trading DMMs, they're confusing. They're not, they don't take into account reports that traded during the holidays. Doesn't mean it's incorrect. And then 2 weeks ago, natural gas, you could just see overall, I mean, natural gas went from 4 losses in a row in October to definitely trading better. It's not our trading plan, natural gas. We had been trading it occasionally over the past year and a half until September. And then September it really got, as we've said over and over, it got really whippy and very, very difficult to trade. And so what's interesting about last week, unexplainable stop. I don't recall last week being weird. I just recall it being a pretty normal stop. Let's see what happened. Hang on, I'm sorry. Losing my mind. Last week was February 10th. Watch the right side because that was our breakout. How it just barely fills, unfortunately. It just touched the fill. And then it just changed direction. So it was just bad luck. A little bit bigger bracket, and it would have been a good trade. It wasn't like an unusual whipsaw or anything. It just didn't work. It just did not work. So TJ's feeling very positive that it's going to work. I want to say hello to all the folks watching us on YouTube. You know, if you feel like it, give us a like and sign up for the channel so you know the next time we're streaming. So there's a little bit of a pattern that has started since the beginning of January. Win-win stop, win-win stop. It's not like the longest pattern, but are there going to be two winners now? Who knows? Now you do have trading a little bit complicated due to Ukraine. I would think that it's going to push up, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not always right about that. Oil's been overall pushing up. I'm not saying today specifically, but overall. Natural gas is down a little bit today. Let me put it on ticks, not on points. So it's down a bit. Natural gas is down a fair amount of ticks. So let me set up the breakout because we always watch the breakout. I'm personally not trading natural gas today, but we haven't been trading it since, like I said, since September. And for me, 6 weeks, this particular pattern, while it's the beginning of a pattern, I'm not as confident as TJ. And I'm not trying to talk him out of trading. He's going to trade it. I know he's going to trade it, and I hope it's a winner. It's definitely been trading better. So to set up the breakout, let me record this. TJ, you're all in. That's great. That's funny. It's not funny. It's good. So our setup is a bracket of 5. And when I do the test, I always test the first target of 5 and the third target of 12. First target of 5, third target of 12. Stop is 15. TJ, what setup do you use? What do you do? Entry time is 10:29:59. $10.29.59. And there we go. So it's not a very complicated setup. Targets of 5 and 12, stop of 15. Natural gas, I say it all the time. It's a tough report. If I were going to trade it live, I would probably use a bigger second target. I think I would. Although when we trade it live, when we trade one contract, we try to just go for 10 ticks. It can reverse really fast. It can whip. And it can have a nice big fat burst also. But it is definitely one of the hardest indexes to trade. Especially when it's acting calm and not devilish, it's very manageable. And it was quite manageable for like a year and a quarter. And then it became devilish in September. I mean, quadruple whipsaw on one trade marked the beginning of natural gas insanity. When I've said this a million times too, when I first got into this news trading, I found it was natural gas that got me interested. And it was almost impossible to get a programmer to write a program that would work and make natural gas tradable as an event. It was so hard. But that's how I got into this, by trying to trade natural gas. So on our second chart, I'm going to do the 3-minute. Okay, very interesting, TJ. If I like the way you trade it. 5 ticks for the first target, 20 and 50. That way, if your winner is a big one, it helps you offset the losers. Okay, so our 3-minute after, I think by now everybody that comes in the room should know how to do the 3-minute after, but I don't mind going over it. We will wait. We use a 30-second chart. We use the squeeze indicator with a momentum length of 17 for the 30-second chart. And you got it. I think natural gas is it's going to respond, I think, to it if anything's going on in the Ukraine. And it does seem like things are going on in the Ukraine. So once again, thanks for watching on YouTube. And if a couple of you would give us a like, hit that like button, hit the notification bell, you'll know the next time we stream, and join the channel. So our 3-minute after, the rules are it's a 30-second chart, the momentum of 17 on the squeeze. And then we use our setup called the squeeze play. And the whole concept is we're just looking for a change in direction. And we're just looking for a small amount of ticks on the play. And it's called the squeeze play. We're going to know the direction we're going to trade. And I'm looking for 8 ticks. That's it. And I'm going to risk 10. 8 ticks, risking 10. I don't know the direction yet, but I will know the direction At least I hope I will. As long as it's a clear signal, I'll know. So I'll explain what the strategy is. So it's ticks above the range. Squeeze play is like a one-click range trade, very similar. So it's a range-oriented trade. It just has a couple of other options. Our ticks above the range are 1 and below is 1. Graphics get shown on the chart, and then we're creating a range with the bar look back of 2 bars. That's our setup. Ticks above is 1, ticks below is 1. Graphics shown on chart so you can see the range. I like a certain color on the range. And then our one-click bar look back is what actually creates the range, not time. We're creating the range with bars. And then I'm going to use one position for an 8-tick profit with a 10-tick stop. You don't have to worry about time, because when you enable a range trade or a one-click range or a squeeze play, when you enable it, you'll get buttons. And don't get thrown by all the buttons. It's not really confusing at all. We're not going to use the left button, because the left button would be if you didn't know what direction you were going to trade. It will put orders above the created range, which you can see being drawn, and it'll put orders below the created range. The top line is where the order will be placed. The middle lines are the range. The right buttons, one click short and one click long, they put you immediately in the market in that direction, and they honor your stops and targets. But we're not going to go in immediately, because remember, we're using 2 bars. So if our range is broken by 1 tick above or below, we'll enter. And in order to do that, you decide when to put the order on. If you want to go short, you click the one-click range short button, and it'll place an order down at the bottom line. And if you want to go long, we'll place the order at the top. But we're going to use the squeeze momentum and the EMAs to help us decide when it's proper to enter. We're going to wait 3 minutes. Let's check our time sync, and then I'll explain. We're going to wait 3 minutes. Going to the website time.is to check our sync. Time is exact. We're going to wait 3 minutes. So what normally happens is when there's a breakout trade, a trend will be created. Right now, there is a trend to the downside on natural gas. That can be changed by the news result. They're expecting a drawdown of 193 billion cubic feet of natural gas. Generally, it's nice to be able to trade in the direction of the trend and the news. If the trend and the news agree, sometimes it can make the trade easier, because you have a trend, the trend's in the direction of the news, and then if you get a signal in that direction, that's nice, because you've got 3 major elements agreeing. But we do find that this setup can work under many different circumstances. So the concept is, if you make believe that natural gas just came out and this is what's going on in the market, you've got a downward trend. We're going to wait for an upward signal of this other color, the green color, if we're above the 0 line here. And we want 2 of them to print, preferably. But 2 weeks ago, we're going to wait 3 minutes also. So 2 weeks ago, the second bar printed about 15 seconds before 3 minutes were up, and it was a great signal. So it's up to you if you're going to slightly bend the rules or not bend the rules. Then we waited for the second signal that worked fine also. So see, right now, the momentum is still down, but we would then be waiting for a coral colored bar and two of them. And the final piece to the puzzle, we would like the moving averages to be pointing in the direction that we're going. The colors of the squeeze are giving us our direction, Steve. So right now the direction's down. When it changes, the color is going to be coral. That's when the direction and the momentum changes. That's part of the signal. The second part of the signal is price action. You know, if it's shooting down and you're getting a coral color, you're not going to trade. But the moving averages, we want them at least flat to starting to point up if you're going to go long, and you want them at least flat and starting to point down if you're going to go short. Now, the moving average indicators are lagging. There's no way around it. They are lagging. So in the background, just for fun, I'm going to listen to natural gas on tick strike and watch it and see if it helps with a signal. Now, unfortunately, they don't give you natural gas on tick strike in the free version. It's just an indicator, but it's not free. So we've got about 7 minutes. I think it's a little bit, there's certainly, I think there's some extra volatility because of the world news. But we always find that this natural gas report, world news, not world news, it generally almost always has a response on the breakout, almost always. Natural gas, like oil, the Wednesday oil, it responds to the news. Now, sometimes it responds like your worst enemy, and sometimes it responds like your best friend. It's the nature of natural gas. I wish there wasn't going to be an invasion. I just find it so depressing. The world is sometimes so messed up. So we're watching. See, the range now, it really doesn't matter what it's doing. I'm not really interested so much in the range at this point, because remember, we're going to wait 3 minutes also after the trade. We want to wait for any chaos that's going to take place. The chaos is usually short-lived from the news. And then we'll look and see. And I'll talk through it. I'll explain. See, Steve, if you're watching my chart now, in theory, that would be the first potential long signal. And now there's a second bar, but the moving averages don't agree with the direction at all. They're pointing heavily down. So I would not take this long if this was the situation in 3 minutes after the news. Okay? I would not take it because the moving averages are so negative. It might work. The moving averages are probably one of the worst lagging indicators of all. Of all indicators, I think moving averages are the worst. I generally don't use them. I would say that I hate them. No, I don't hate moving averages. That's a little bit too strong. How can you hate a move? What a moving average ever do to me that I would hate it? That's a little bit strong, don't you think? I don't like them though. I don't like moving averages because they don't move that well. No, I'm being crazy. Anyway. So we'll get a breakout on the right chart, and that trade will end pretty fast. It almost always does. I suppose I could have set up a traditional reversal trade. I don't know if I'll have time to do it. I mean, natural gas, you can do a traditional reversal also. Say you look for 20 ticks with a stop of 25, one target. You know, sometimes natural gas will give you a big burst. So if I set up just a standard reversal trade where I'm just looking and when I say a traditional reversal trade, I'll show you what I mean. So I get different buttons. If there's a burst, up or down and the trade's over, then I can consider a traditional reversal. Okay. And I'll show you what I mean. Normally, what I would say is if you're going to trade natural gas, you kind of need to make a decision. Trade the breakout or trade the reversal. Okay. But it's hard to do both because you might not be out of the breakout trade at the perfect moment for the reversal. The breakout can interfere with the reversal. When you're dealing with a 3-minute after, your breakout trade's going to be over. I don't think I can even recall a breakout trade that lasted more than a minute. Pretty rare. So I probably won't be able to really do the reversal the way that the perfect way unless the trade ends instantly. It's probably not viable. You'll see why. You'll see why. So there's the bracket. Now, this was a time, it may stop, but that was a perfect reversal. So that wouldn't have worked, okay? It wouldn't have worked, but I was a little bit early, and maybe my stop was a little too small, okay? I was a little bit early. I'm not saying, I mean, this reversal could still work. You're on the same candle, right? You're still on that candle. So, you know, traditionally, I wanted to try and get as far down as possible, but see, I was not far enough. I think I got in too soon. And that's the hardest thing about the traditional reversal. So let's concentrate now on the regular after, okay? The regular after trade. TJ, did you make money? Looked like a good trade. Now it's going down, even though there was, you know, there was a little bit less of a drawdown, a little bit less of a drawdown. So we're waiting now for this direction to start moving up. The moving averages are killing us, okay? The moving averages are killing us. TJ, nice trade. They're absolutely killing us. See, there's your first signal. The moving averages, they're starting to flatten out. I think it's a high risk today because the downward pressure is so strong. But I'm going to follow the signal. If I get a second signal and it's 2 minutes after, I would take it. Now it's a minute early. See, it's nullified though. And maybe the price action just did us a favor. We have to wait another 30 seconds and 2 bars. Okay. The moving averages are, and now the price action saying, no, it's still down. Okay. There was a little bit more gas around than expected. Would that push the price down? I guess, it could. Could. TJ traded the breakout. AJ, if you scroll up, you could see his setup, his targets. So now we're coming into 3 minutes. The moving averages, though, are pointing down. The news theoretically is pointing down. Price action is pointing down. But the way this trade works is we're waiting for an opposite signal. We're not trading it as a continuation. That's not the setup. Okay. We're trading it as a continuation, not a continuation, as a change in direction. The moving averages are not giving us a lot of help. The direction we want to trade will be long at the moment. And we're still not getting the squeeze signal yet. So there's nothing to do until we get the signals. We're past 3 minutes. So I'm looking to go long because the trend right after the news was to the downside. There's our first long signal. Now, waiting for 2 bars, I think sometimes that makes you miss the trade. I think it makes it harder, without a doubt. But that's been the rule. That's been the rule. If there was a rule I was going to break, that might be one of them. I think we'll get our second signal right now. And we do, and I'm long. I would be long. And this is not an easy trade today. You have a pretty tough trend to the downside. And look, that first signal was so much better. We're fighting a very big downward pressure today. But, we've seen this setup work a lot when you least expect it. So it's a 10 tick risk. You're risking 100 to make 80. It worked last week twice. It would have worked on a slightly early signal. And it worked on the second signal after 3 minutes last week. No help from tick strike. No sound of orders coming in. It looks like it's going to stop. Even though the signals are on our side, the moving averages, you've got upward pointing and flat. It's trying. But, it did reverse already. And sometimes waiting for that second bar makes you late. It just makes you late. I don't know if I would consider changing the rule to entering after the first bar. It's something I would test. And look, it by one tick, it didn't stop us so far. So we're not looking for a lot, but it has reversed and bingo. So it worked. Very interesting price action to say the least, right? But it worked. Worked last week. It's an interesting setup. Even when you just think it's not going to work now, I just wonder in real life if you were one tick away, would the market have grabbed your stop if you were live? Maybe, maybe. But this setup is interesting. I do like, see that first signal gets in quite a bit earlier. But it is riskier because the moving averages won't be offering as much help either on that first signal. So it is riskier. Any questions? No, it was a winner. It was a winner. It hit the 8 ticks. It went straight up. It worked. It was my reversal, my traditional reversal trade got stopped. That's why the price is off. But I was really trying to show the traditional reversal trade is so hard to time that it's better. I think it's better to have a system like this rather than just trying to randomly enter a traditional reversal trade based on the candle. I think it's way better to have signals. You have a better chance. Yeah, the numbers are red because of what I explained, Steve. The breakout trade worked. The traditional reversal did not. And then the numbers went $80 less red on the win. So AJ, can I show the screenshot? If you wait 1 second, let me show you the video. It burst up like unexpectedly. I was expecting it actually to work, but I didn't expect it to burst the way it did. So here's the video, which will show the screen. So the first thing that happened was the breakout worked. Okay. The traditional breakout worked really fast, and it would have hit both targets, approximate profit $170. Okay. 12 and 5 ticks. Then I entered a reversal, and I was late. I was late because price was still going down. I was early. I mean, price was still going down. So that did not work. And then our after trade, here it comes. So our after trade didn't give a signal. There's the first signal. So the first signal comes right there. So the moving average was starting to point up, so I don't think that would have been a very bad entry, actually. I think possibly the first signal might be a better shot. Ah, I got you, Mark. I got you. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's all right. So the second signal is where we entered. And it almost stopped us out by a tick. It came all the way down. Right there. And then it changed direction a little bit. And it just starts going up a little bit. And then who knows why? You just get a pop up. Pretty strange. And there it goes. It jerked right up. If you took your eye off the screen for a second, you didn't even see it. Okay, and now it's back down. All right. Any questions, folks? Any questions? This is our last room for today. And tomorrow, not super busy. I think there's only one room tomorrow. Existing homes at 9:30. So I'll see everybody at 9:30 tomorrow. Thanks on YouTube. If you'd give us a like, folks, if you like what you see, you can join our trade room on YouTube. Folks, if you're not a member, www.jointhetraderoom.com. We'd love to have you come join us. Okay. So Gator, just to address your question, your comment, slippage is way too low to trade. One of our traders trades it live every week. He made money today. There was not that much slippage. Sometimes there's slippage on natural gas, but sometimes there's not. Sometimes you get positive slippage also. You get slippage in your favor. So it's tradable. We've been trading it off and on for years. So I totally disagree with your statement. You could join the trade room and find out. www.jointhetraderoom.com. There's plenty of low slippage, high slippage reports that work, or we wouldn't be here. All right, folks. So I'll see everybody at 9:30 tomorrow. And I don't see any other questions. Any other questions? Do you night trade? Yes, we do. Actually, Stephen, we traded last night's Australia jobs report and it didn't move. For like the first time that I can remember. It's usually a very impactful report. And last night it had no response. It was really strange. Not sure what happened. Normally we get a big pop or a big drop. We do trade a couple of Australia reports, a couple of Chinese reports. So as long as the report moves and gives us an opportunity for profit, we're interested. All right, so thanks everybody on YouTube for liking us. Sign up for the channel so you'll know the next time we stream. If you hit the notification bell, you'll get a notification. We stream at least 3 to 5 times a week, live trades. Just keep in mind they're a little bit delayed. So I would not want to trade live on our live streams. Obviously, that's why jointhetraderoom.com makes sense. Okay, folks. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you all later.